What is going on, everybody? How are we doing this morning on a Saturday morning? Hope everybody's doing well, getting cozy, getting their day going. I've been up for a minute. Y'all know with the dogs that I've got to get up early and just it's weird. I've got just this natural internal clock now where I'm literally up at like 5 a.m. I'll jump on my phone real quick to see if there's anything going on, and then usually around 5:30 getting the dogs out, getting them fed, getting the coffee going, and getting prepped to deliver some content for you guys so we can all jump in and have a good discussion because you guys know that I love you like that. This is United versus Everybody. You guys are the UVE community. I am your host, Sean. We are back today with a little bit of a preview of this weekend's FA Cup clash with Fulham, who I think are going to be up for this one, obviously. We are in the midst of an injury crisis, so a win amidst all that would be huge as well. We're going to look at how both teams have been doing, what we can expect to see. We're also going to go through, predicted starting 11s, which honestly, I went back and forth again with the suspension of Dorgu and some of the injuries. It's like the 11 kind of picks itself, but we're going to do that. We're going to get your score predictions. I want your thoughts and opinions on everything. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We are on the road to 3K. Go check out the membership perks as well to learn how you can have a say in the content, scouting reports, topics of discussion, whatnot. You guys can get a part in that. Go check out the perks to learn how you can do that. So let's jump into this. First off, just a big up to the under 18s and their 3-2 victory over Arsenal in the FA Youth Cup yesterday. I think that was the quarterfinal. We did a watch along for that one yesterday, which was really cool to have that discussion. It's great. I feel like it's a whole different experience to kind of do these watch alongs for the academy. This is like the third one we've done so far, and I'm having a blast because we're all kind of joining in, getting involved in the excitement and the anticipation and just like the pride almost in the youngsters, and we're doing that together as the UVE community. It's been great. The conversations yesterday were excellent. Hopefully, as schedules permit and stuff, throughout the week, because you guys know I got a lot going on too. We can do more of these watch alongs, but you guys know that we're big fans of the academy on the channel. We love hyping up the youngsters. We love seeing how they're progressing. We love talking about and predicting who's next to get promoted, who could do a job for us. And yesterday was just another day of that, which was awesome. We did do that watch along. It did go to extra time. Jaden Camison scored the late winner. Afterwards, the under 18s coach, Adam Lawrence, he praised Camison. Loves this kid. He gets involved. He's an advanced fullback. He loves getting forward, getting involved in the goals. And I said it yesterday, and I said it again, and I posted on Twitter this morning. Just promote Camison instead of buying Giovanni Quenda. I don't think we need to spend the money on Giovanni Quenda. Again, it's not a diss on Quenda, but Camison is actually older than Giovanni Quenda. Camison's 18. Quenda's still 17. And just look at what he's doing. He was easily man of the match yesterday. He's getting involved. He plays that same role. He's up and down the pitch. He's physical. Like, just promote Camison. We don't need to go get Quenda. The academy is so good. It's so stacked. With the next couple of years, this pipeline that we've got coming through is going to be trickling into the first team. Hopefully, guys like Kone, Cheeto, all these guys. I'm excited. Speaking of the academy, United just signed a highly rated young midfielder to the under 14s. His name is Jed Bangura. He came from Oxford United. So reportedly, we beat a number of clubs to get this youngster in. Box to box, highly creative, good on the ball. I like it. I like this policy that we're getting. Maybe we can go get Dauman too from Arsenal, because this little 15-year-old bastard was doing us dirty yesterday. Very, very good on the ball. It was impressive for me to watch a 15-year-old, and again, he's 15. He's playing the academy, but he's playing against kids that are like 2-3 years older than him. But he was dicing us, and I'm not talking like, oh, he's got some chalk on his boots, he's got some space. This dude was dribbling through our midfield, through our defenders, beating 2 or 3 of United players on the way. Let's go steal him from Arsenal next. We already got Cheeto. Let's go get this kid. Arsenal probably won't be looking to lose another youngster anytime soon, but I think if we can promise him a role, I think maybe we can go in and swipe this guy too. So moving on to the match, hit that like button for me, guys, if you haven't yet. Get involved in the chat. Let me know your thoughts. This is the third time we are playing Fulham this season. We've beat them twice, 1-0 victories twice so far. You have to go back to 2023 for the last time we beat Fulham by more than just a goal as well. I think we beat them 2023 like 3-1 or something. They just seem to have a knack for kind of keeping us a little quiet, or at least keeping the scoreline tight. Like most sides we play these days, they look more energetic, they're more physical, and really they just look more up for it overall, which doesn't take much these days. Rever, good to see you again, my friend. Hope you are doing well. I mean, in terms of physicality, we're literally, anytime we step on the pitch, we're always second best when it comes to physicality, mentality. We just don't look up for it. It takes just a brilliant free kick goal from Bruno or something to get these players hyped. Now, against Ipswich, I was proud of the way we fought back in that second half, going down to 10 men. Yeah, we sat deep. We made it hard to break down, but I liked what I saw from the mentality. Casemiro, Ugarte getting hyped up. People going in on Delap for elbow and Ugarte. We had Maz picking up a yellow for defending his teammate. Xerxes came in and did. And Ugarte was not having any of Delap's shit either. Delap was just frustrated that Harry Maguire had him in a spliff all night, personally. But Rever went to the youth game at the Emirates last night. Big up, Rever. That's awesome, man. I love to see people getting involved, getting support the youth, man. Isn't it awesome? You guys know I went to the Youth Cup game against Preston last month at Lee Sports Village, which we won. That was awesome. But big up, Rever, man. Dude, everyone just hit the like button for Rever going out and supporting the youngsters last night. Big up, man. Good to see you. Dylan, chilling with Dylan in the house. Good to see you, Dylan. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We need to link up sometime soon. Maybe we'll shoot for the Europa League on Thursday. How's that sound? Let me know. But the physicality, the lack of physicality in this United side has not gone unnoticed by our managers. Several managers have pointed out a lack of fitness, a lack of fight, and Ruben Amorim himself, as we discussed that recently as well. So hopefully we can start doing better in that regard on Fulham. So again, we kind of did a little mini preview of Fulham a few weeks back, looking at the next 5 games during a little bit of a downtime, and not much has changed. After a promising start to their season, Fulham are sort of, you could say, regressing to the mean a little bit, kind of punching where they're supposed to be in terms of results and whatnot. They are in 9th now, but they're still capable of surprising a few sides, capable of blooding a few noses and blacking a few eyes. Danny B in the house, big up, Danny. Dude, Danny Rever was at the Youth Cup match last night at the Emirates, man. Big up Rever again, man. Yeah, Dylan, let's link up, dude. Let's do something Thursday, man. We'll go get a drink and watch this Europa League game. So Fulham did pick up a win against Newcastle recently, Chelsea as well. They got good results against Liverpool, good results against Arsenal. Those helped back in December, but overall, it's not been good enough for Fulham in terms of where they were early on in the season. Just not getting enough points, not getting enough wins, dropping points, again, like United, dropping points against sides we really should be beating. 4 wins and 5 in all comps, though, in the last, it's not bad. Part of that, a big win over Wigan in the FA Cup to bring them face-to-face with us in this round. What you can expect to see, we've discussed it a little bit already. Obviously, we've done 2 previews for Fulham already. Not much is going to change. They don't want to go long. They want to try to build out from the back, play it wide, and then get it up wide, and then kind of get you in these little possession triangles, and then eventually find their wide players and then put these balls in the box. Iwobi's movement is going to be a problem. Traore's pace is going to be a problem. I worry about Traore's pace simply because I worry about him passing to a player. I don't ever worry about Traore's final ball because Traore's final ball has been garbage for years. But look for them to work those triangles in the final third. Look for them to get fullbacks involved, get kind of like what Spurs did, get a little overload in numbers in those wide areas. Anthony Robinson usually is the go-to for putting those balls in the box. We were lucky that he's been off his game when he's played us, at least. Problem was we struggle to close down that space, to get in, to kind of close down the space and prevent these wide players. No matter who we're playing, we have trouble defending those, and we just kind of give them all sorts of time and space to pick their ball, basically. Dallo needs to do better than that. We need to do better at closing down those balls so they don't just have the free reign to do whatever they want, man. It's fucking annoying. Whoever says, yeah, I agree, Camison, even in the flesh, was very, yeah. Like I said, he's older than Quenda. He's having such a good season. He was easily my man of the match last night, and the under-18s coach just raves about him. Like, I don't think we need to waste money on Quenda. Again, no diss on Quenda, but Camison's older. He plays the same position, and he can do the job. Let's go with our youngsters, please. River says, yeah, atmosphere is good for a youth game. United support, always good. The atmosphere is excellent. I'm sure being at the Emirates helped, but still, going to Lee Sports Village was an excellent time, too. River says, quite a few traveled down to London. They were in good voice. Yeah, we were talking about that on the watch-along, that we thought we heard some songs getting sung. We thought and maybe you can confirm this, River. Somebody made a comment. We thought we heard the Glazers Out song going on. Let me know. We need a Glazers Out confirmation here. Can someone let me know? Dylan says, hard to believe Barcelona had Traore on loan with basically no finishing capabilities. Yeah. I think, didn't he come through their academy as well, Traore, if I remember correctly? Yeah, remember when he was at Middlesbrough, he was a right back, and then he kind of got pushed up to winger. He should just go play rugby or something. Or maybe I think Traore would be excellent as like a running back in the NFL. Like, the dude, he is built like a absolute brick shithouse, man. It's fucking insane, this dude. And it's just for no reason. He's basically just, I mean, no disrespect, he's just a hulked up Daniel James. He's like if Daniel James got too angry and turned green. That's basically what he is. I'm not trying to disrespect Daniel James, but Daniel James was just pace and energy. And that's what Adama Traore is. So it is what it is. Kai, big up, Kai. Good to see you again, my friend. How's everyone doing on a Saturday? Anybody planning to watch any of these matches? You guys know that I am on permanent Hayden Hackney watch, so I'll probably be checking out Middlesbrough match here in a little while. But yeah, look for Fulham, get numbers forward, work the ball in those triangles and wide areas, overload, and then pick a ball into the box. Trying to find Jimenez, trying to find Munoz, who are just these old school nines. These guys are just up for it physically. We need to do a better job at closing down that space. Munoz can go missing, but he is still capable of getting a goal. He did score in their last match. He does have a goal in him here and there. We need to do better, though, at watching. It's not necessarily the only having to defend the cross. That's just basic, but we need to do better, again, at closing down those deliveries of the ball. As far as United go, we need to do more with the ball in the final third. We get the ball in the final third at times, but it's like we just run out of ideas. I read a stat last night that in terms of maintaining the ball in the final third, we have the 8th lowest in the league right now. When we do manage to get the ball into that area, we're just not doing enough with it. This is why our chance creation has dipped. We've dropped to like 23% for creating in our strikers from those central areas when we get in that position. It's the lowest in the league right now. We're not doing good enough. There were times against Ipswich where some of our players, too, were just a little bit isolated. Now, again, Ipswich you take with a little bit of a grain of salt because of the conditions of that game, but we need to do better. I thought that we did really well to kind of get bodies back in numbers. So, again, we've shown that we are capable. Bruno and Ugarte were making it really difficult to get in there. And then if you watch the game a little bit, Xerxes was also dropping a little deep to kind of make a 3-man midfield and make us a little harder to break down. So again, this is why I say don't focus so much on formation and look more at shape, if that makes sense. Just because we say 3-4-2-1 doesn't mean that's just where everyone's going to stick the whole game. This isn't Pep Guardiola. Xerxes dropping deep, making it hard to break down, getting bodies in midfield, being more compact. I thought we did really well with that later on in the game. But what that also does, and again, outlying circumstances with Dorgu being gone, it does leave our attackers a little isolated because Xerxes was that 10, dropping deep. Hoyland was kind of on his own. Sometimes, though, you do what you have to do. But we need to take advantage of that space that Fulham are probably going to leave in those wide areas. So these wing backs need to do a really good job of ball progression. We need to find the ball. We're not going to sit back and hit long balls like we were against Ipswich, but we need to take advantage. Similar to Spurs, we want to take advantage of that space. We need to get that ball up there. Rever says, yes, 2 Glazer songs. There was a good Manu one I've heard for the first time, but yeah, full repertoire of songs we're saying. Bantering Arsenal as well. Anytime someone just uses the word repertoire in casual conversation, I'm up for it, man. Big up. Rever says, there were some good songs taking the piss out of Arsenal losing the league. I mean, you could probably make a whole album of songs like that. But big up, Rever, man. Always proud whenever United supporter goes and checks out the youngster, especially traveling to London, man. Big up. What does Amorim had to say? Again, mostly from Amorim's pressers. I don't know why I wait for him. They're all pretty much cookie cutter, but he was asked about players in general. I think this was in the context of Garnacho and maybe some other things, but he was asked about footballers' pressure and do they need to be a little bit more tougher. So he said, he was asked, does a modern day player need to handle criticism better and have a thicker skin, particularly at United because the focus is so great? Amorim said, I think it's completely different for the players nowadays. Before, it was two newspapers and nothing more. With social media, it's completely different. They are so focused on social media. You can't go to social media without seeing news or a photo, or if you read something bad, you focus on that. You can have 100 good things, but then one bad thing and you focus on the bad thing. I think it's really hard for them. You can call it soft, but they have that access to criticism, and it is really, really hard to deal with that. They need help to deal with that. So it's modern football, and they have to be prepared for that. I mean, I like the answer. He's not calling anybody out. He's not coming out and accusing the journalists of being wrong. He's just pointing out the differences and the importance of maybe just trying to train the players a little better to do that. Basically, he's just saying things are different. And there's nothing, I don't disagree with this. If you were a parent and you had a teenager and access to social media, especially with the statistics regarding like poor mental health struggles with teenagers in terms of online bullying and whatnot and the pressures there, I think that it's wise, if you had a child, to just have a chat with them now and then about social media, about the kind of things that are on there and how to not internalize a lot of that shit. Now, how to move on, how to let some of that shit just not impact you. I think maybe, again, we're supposed to have some sort of sports psychology consultant at the club. We've not heard fuck all about that since I did. We don't have a dedicated department. It would be helpful. It's not about media training. It's just like, again, young kids, young players dealing with the same shit that young people all over the world deal with. It stands to reason that maybe they could use a little bit of guidance in that regard. But I'm not a parent, so what do I know? Sticking with Amorim, we spoke yesterday about comments Amorim made during this interview. He sat down with Rio Ferdinand for TNT. They had a little chat. Rio asked him, what sort of things surprised you most about coming to United, coming to the Premier League? Amorim remarked, of course, about extensive media coverage, interviews that he's had to give and whatnot, because we know that he's kind of was taken aback by the number of interviews and stuff that he's going to have to deal with. But again, if you remember what we talked about yesterday, he said he was also surprised by the level of physicality in the league, which he admitted is also going to have to start influencing the way we recruit. We've got to start looking at players who are physical. He made another comment, though, in an interview, and this was regarding Anthony. He was asked about Anthony. He was asked basically how Anthony's doing at Real Betis, and Amorim said, we talk about players like Anthony, who is much better in Spain. There are many factors, though. But Amorim said, I guarantee you it's linked to the physical aspect. Again, pointing out the importance. It's the same with Sancho, Anthony as well. If you can't hang with the physicality, and I'm not just talking about just being fast, being strong. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the stamina to be up and down, back and forth, and to cover every blade of grass. Like the way we play in the Premier League, the pace is just faster. It's just constant back and forth. I mean, I told you, like I was done in a couple minutes. Playing an indoor the other day, just you sprint to get up the pitch. If you lose the ball, then you're sprinting to get back, and it's a lot. And that's just a freaking 39-year-old playing indoor. Like, and 39. I'm not gonna be professional, but it's fucking hard, man. Dylan says 100%. Anthony has found a league he can thrive in. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. And we've said, and there's so many players, like the revisionism with Anthony along this fan base is, it's not surprising, but it's one of those things where you read it and you're just like, come on, like what are we doing? The revisionism with De Gea, and I'm not trying to bash any of these players. It's Anthony can't hang in this league. Sancho can't hang in this league. De Gea did not suit the system that Ten Hag wanted, and his shot stopping was starting to decline. It's just, this is what happens. Not every signing is going to be a banger. Can anyone tell me where Nicolas Pepe is playing these days? Again, it's just part of it. And you never know how it's going to work. Now, I hope that the recruitment team Now that we have a structure, now that we have an identity, now that we're trying to target certain profiles of player, I hope that this physicality aspect, the mentality aspect, is going to be a part of it, because we've signed too many players for too much money that just cool. You did a couple things here and there, but it's just not. We need so much more than that. And I agree with Roy Keane to that extent. Talent is not enough. I don't agree with Roy Keane bashing Bruno, but talent isn't enough. Anthony is talented, but that's not enough, because you're not going to be able to sit there. And in this league, you're not going to be able to just do what you want against three defenders like you did at Ajax. He was a world beater at Ajax, but Premier League, they're just going to follow you. They don't care. And Anthony, he got a couple of those fouls early on, and you realize, oh shit, that was the only thing I had was my tricks. And so he's just like he's going to his place now. That in Spain you're allowed to. In Spain, you're going to see a lot more of. You're going to get fouled, but the players are happy with that. They're just going to, we know players like to go down in Spanish side. So Danny says, I read Amorim was hoping to sign Val Gomez to replace Licha. We were offered him for $6 million by Vélez, but Barada said no, he didn't give the green light. Yeah, I read the other day that we had rejected. It was like a headline or something. I didn't see when that was, but I do like Valentin Gomez. I like him a lot. I think he's a good player, good young left-sided center back, quick, good on the ball. Not sure what Barada was thinking there, if that's true. I'll have to look that up again. You guys know I have to cross-reference and vet a lot of these transfer rumors, but I did see something about that the other day. Rever says, you have to be sturdy, robust to cope with the intensity of the Prem. Anthony worked hard, but he is lightweight. Yeah, Anthony was not quick. He was another Sancho where on the ball, good, but physically he just was not there. He just didn't have it from a physical standpoint. Danny says, Ineos, the cheap pricks they are, brought heaven instead. Danny, you're funny, man. You are funny. Was it end of January? Yeah, I don't remember when I saw that. I'll have to look it up again. There's still time. Obviously, we can see what we need to do. I think that there are plenty of left-sided center backs. Obviously, I did a video on Licha replacements that I think we should sign. I've added a couple more cents, like Pavlovic. I do think Schlotterbeck would be a like for like in every sense of the word as well. I do like Valentin Gomez too. Maybe we'll do a scout report on Valentin Gomez at some point, but I think the link is in the description of this video. You guys can go check that out. But as far as Anthony, I mean, we kind of already knew all this, right? As we're talking about it, we kind of know, but we'll see. Real Betis play Real Madrid today, so we'll see if he can hang with Valverde and whatnot. That's going to be a big test for him, because Valverde, even pitching in it like right back, like against City, was just unstoppable. Valverde's got to be one of the best midfielders I've seen in a long, long time. Then he says, Milton Delgado last night, Sean, next scout report, ran midfield last night. I'll add him to my list, Danny. You know I always got time for your South American recommendations, Danny, but I will go ahead and look him up and see what we're working with. But how's everybody doing this morning? What's everybody got going on this weekend? Dylan says, isn't Anthony out? No, I think it was rescinded, I want to say. I can't remember. Was it rescinded? Let me see. I will look it up. I want to say it was. Now, my level of caring is a minimum with teams and leagues outside of Premier League. Yeah, it was rescinded. I thought I remember reading that the other day. Yeah, so the red card was rescinded. I don't watch a whole lot of La Liga, honestly. I watch a little bit of like Girona and Bilbao, because Bilbao are doing a really good job, but 19-year-old central defensive midfielder, probably best mid. Interesting. Yeah, I'll go look him up, man. Sanjay, big up, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Sanjay is just having the time of his life out there, sipping that Bacardi with his peeps, man. Big up, man. Good to see you, Sanjay. Glad you're having a good time, my guy. Starting 11. Get in your starting 11. Get in your score predictions as well, because I've got my starting 11. Now, again, we can complain, we can criticize. It's just this is probably the best we can do right now. So, pretty much, like I said, it's probably going to be minimal changes given the injuries that we have, given Dorgu's suspension for this one. So it'll probably, again, like I said, after the Ipswich match, we're probably going back to a Dallo at left wing back, maybe Mizraoui, but it's probably going to be a Dallo left wing back thing. against Ipswich, when Dalot came on, he moved to that right side. He was getting involved higher up the pitch. He could have had a goal had Bruno's ball been a little better when the two of them went on that tear. Probably back to right wing back for Mizraoui. Still no Bayindir, still no Toby Collier as well. I've seen some fan channels complaining right now about, and I'll let you guys check out the channel's Twitter if you want to see who, because I'm not going to name them, but some fan channels complaining that we don't know more information about players like Mount or like Johnny Evans' injury or something. And I'm like, and you guys, I've criticized this before from fan channels. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm better. It's just I don't know at what point people thought that they were entitled to, like, people want statements from clubs all the time. People want to know what's going on with players. Like, at what point do we think that we were entitled to this information? We're not. What club releases a statement every time they do something behind the scenes? It just doesn't happen. Furthermore, there are limits to what United can make statements about because we are a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. We can't just, the owners just can't, like, if you chase down Avram Glazer in Tampa, he's not just going to tell you, yeah, I'm selling the club. Yeah, we're doing this. He's not allowed to do that. That's like, that would get them thrown out. Now, we did discuss yesterday a couple of ways that maybe they could be pushed out. So go check out that video if you guys want to learn a little bit more about the ins and outs of the Class A, Class B shares, the terms of Sir Jim's ownership and the plan there, and why the next 6 months could be big. Go check that out. But this is my starting 11. Again, Garnacho, Amorim said, picked up a little bit of a knock against Ipswich, so he probably will be fine, but you're going to have to wait and see. I don't, after what happened, and, Amorim kind of had a little joke about, the miscommunication and things and why it was important to make sure you maintain that vision, that appearance of solidarity and support by coming back out with the team. He joked he's going to be buying the team dinner, but we'll see if I think Garnacho still is better coming off the bench. And again, he was unlucky to get subbed off. It just is what it is with the red card to Dorgu, but I wasn't happy with the way he handled that. And so I'm not leaving him out because I just think that he might not come in, and I think that he's better off the bench personally. But we'll have to wait and see. I've seen calls for Cheeto to get a start for this one, but I don't know how I feel about that yet. Again, there's nothing bad about Cheeto. I just think, again, people need to just be patient with that. I'm definitely up for him getting some minutes in the second half, but starting is a big ask. But again, we love a little bit of romance. So yeah, coming on as a sub, grabbing a late goal in a cup tie at home would be the dream for Cheeto, right? I mean, the place would literally explode with excitement if that were to happen for Cheeto. So we'll see. Never say never, but you guys can see pretty much an unchanged 11. I did move Bruno a little higher, and I have Casemiro. Now, I toyed around with the idea of maybe putting Eriksen in there, but I think Casemiro's been getting a little more minutes. And contrary to belief, what I've seen from Casemiro is that when he's getting regular minutes, he's better than when he has too much time off, if that makes sense. He's not a player who's going to get tired the more he plays. He's a player who's going to build rust when he's not playing, and Casemiro needs to get into that rhythm. He's like a diesel engine. He's going to take a minute to get going, but when he get going, he can go. Like, it just is what it is. And I may not be able to play a full 90 every couple days, but it's good. It's better for Casemiro to have minutes. Defensively, we don't have a whole. I don't know. I just realized I have Mizraoui on there twice. My bad, y'all. Imagine that Lenny Yoro was down there in the Mizraoui spot. Sorry, I just realized that. This is why you don't do shit at 5 o'clock in the morning. So just pretend that Mizraoui in the right center back spot is Yoro, and just forget that I messed that up. Don't hate me. But what are you guys thinking for this one? What would you guys like to see for this one? Let me check this chat. I just realized the chat is not keeping up with you guys. So, Lionhearts, big up, my guy. Hopefully doing well today. I'm going to take that off because it's embarrassing. Good to see you, man. Sanjay's calling 2-0. Yeah, I just messed it up. Shut up, everybody. You're killing me. Leave me alone. Yeah, I didn't even realize I had Mizraoui on there. Danny says fan channels are becoming too much. I mean, again, I'm not going to big myself up because I just, I don't think I'm better than anybody in that regard. I think that I'm just, I try to be just objective. And again, if that's boring, I get it. It probably is boring. I'm not ranting and raving all the time. I just try to be objective. It's just life, man. So you guys are funny. Rever says Dallo has been a massive disappointment for me this season. Last season he was just decent, and I hope he could push on this year. But now he's been shut. Yeah, Dallo is one that, again, it's hard because we can say we need to improve, but then I also have to filter that through how much we have to improve. Same with Onana. I do think Onana is a net negative for us right now, and I would take a good offer and stick with Bindier or VTech next year and then reassess that next summer. But it is what it is. Leonard says I prefer Bruno in a deep row. So does that mean you're going to start Garnacho in that 10? Let me see. Rest is rust. Yeah. Um, yeah, I think I want goals. I want to see some goals. It's going to be annoying. The under 18s, they wrapped up that hard fought FA Cup win last night. I'd love it if the first team could rise to that challenge, could match that. The women's team has their quarterfinal clash against Sunderland as well. I think that's in a week. It'd be cool if all three teams could win their FA Cups this year. Last year, I mean, 2 out of 3 wasn't bad. The women's team and the men's team won last year. But I'd like to see us get some momentum going. Obviously, it's been a minute. We haven't put back-to-back league wins all season, but I'd like to let's get the momentum going. It's good for morale. It's good for confidence. It's good for that mentality. Let's get it going. The way we fought back against Ipswich was massive for me. And yes, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't like the best classy performance I've ever seen, but the mentality I saw in the squad to dig in, to work for each other, to get that is what I want to see more of, because that's been missing for far too long. And the problem is why does it take winning in order to get that? You should have that no matter if you go down a goal, especially after that early, don't let your head drop. Have that same mentality from the first whistle. Have that same mentality when you wake up in the morning before you even get to the grounds. I love seeing goals. It's just a big ask right now. It feels like we did get 3 against Ipswich, but again, set piece goals. I mean, if that's what it is, and that's what it is, it's not sustainable as Arsenal are showing us, but I'll take it. I think Fulham, though, could see this cup as a very realistic option. So I do expect a strong side. I do expect a strong showing from them. Can we get a result? Can we progress in our defense of the FA Cup? We will see. Let me know your score predictions. Lionhearts is going to start Garnacho. Yeah, I mean, that's just mine. I think it's more of a is Garnacho going to... I think, A, Garnacho is better off the bench, and B, after what happened when he got subbed off against Ipswich, I'm not 100% sure that he will start. But I'm going to call a tight 2-1 victory for United. I think that we could get a win. Sanjay, I think, was calling a 2-0, I think is what I saw up there. Yeah, Sanjay called 2-0. What are you guys predicting for this one? 2-1 for me. Sanjay's got 2-0. I think we have it in us. We just have to know, a good opposition analysis will help. Press them in those wide areas to keep them from building up at their leisure. Press their wide players a little better. Do better to close down the wide players when they get the ball in the final third, so they can't just pick their cross at will. That seems to be our biggest struggle right now. Leonard says, and also Garnacho might need the exercise after the team meal. Yeah, Garnacho is young, but he's got it. Lionhearts is saying this is going to pens. That could be interesting. I hope not, because we're not great at those. Obviously, we did well against Arsenal. We progressed, but that was more down to Bindier than anything. And I don't think he's going to be available for this one. So Onana is probably going to be the X factor, and not in a good way. He's just, because the way that Fulham play, a lot of these balls are going in the box, and Onana is just the worst at doing anything about that. Apparently, except that first opportunity against Ipswich. I don't know what he was doing running out that far, but Dylan's calling it 2-1, but we'll start the first half slow. See, that's the problem, though. We're pushing our luck. We've seen many times that when we leave it too late, like we did against Spurs in the Cup, that it just didn't go well. We're leaving it too late, and we're giving ourselves too much of a hill to climb. And we could get lucky with that now and then, but maybe, I don't know, somebody get it, a hypnotist to come in and tell these players that the first whistle is actually the second half start, and maybe they'll fucking show up. He says, I'd rather play Harrison. I said the other day, I'd rather put Fallon in goal. She is a way better keeper than Onana. she's doing a great job right now. Like I'd rather play Jade than Dallo personally, and that's not just Michigan bias, but yeah, I'm calling 2-1. Dylan's calling 2-1. Sanjay's calling 2-0. We're gonna see how it goes. I don't know if I'm going to load the dice or not yet. It's just gonna depend on really what I feel like doing. Games at like 11:30, so we will see what happens. But that is it for me. If any breaking news is coming out today, any big news coming out, obviously we will be back later on to talk about that. I'm gonna go jump on Hayden Hackney watch, probably get a little bit of a workout in. And then probably get some breakfast. I've not eaten anything yet today, so that's probably why I'm a little hungry. Lion says, watch, I bet Onana have a man of the match performance. Has Onana ever had a man of the match performance in a United shirt? I'm trying to think. I know he's had some good performances, and he started the season much better than I would have thought, but it's dipped since then. Danny, I will go check out Delgado, maybe throw him in my next scouting report. Dylan, we need to link up. We need to figure out when we're going to do that video. So do your prep, I'll do mine, and then we will do. I know you got a lot going on as well, so you let me know, man. But that'll be a fun time. You guys keep a lookout for that one. Lionel says, are we not allowed to start Elatoon? Maybe. At this point, really, it's not hard. I mean, maybe we'll see Kone get involved a little bit. I don't know, man. It's the first team has been a disappointment, and it's not just it's been like this for a couple of years now. And again, it really is mostly mentality, because again, like I said, you win the mental game, you'll win the physical game. We're just not winning the mental game right now, and there's so many factors involved, whether it's ownership, the toxicity, the negativity, whether it's just the lack of resilience, the changing of managers all the time. It's what positives are there to link to or to grab onto is a big question. But again, resilience is more about the negatives and the positives. How do you respond from the negatives? Dylan says, let's do it. It's better than doing my taxes this weekend. We'll find a time, man, and we will do that. So Dylan and I have a fun video that we'll have you guys get involved in. Promise it won't be like a 3-hour banger like those other ones we have, because those ones are just a marathon. But we're going to be taking a look at United managers soon, post-Fergie, and maybe ranking those in some sort of hierarchy. And obviously everyone's going to have a different ranking based on trophies, vibes, tactics, all that shit. But it's going to be a fun discussion. I know other channels have done that in the past as well, but Lionel says taxes. What's that, Dylan? Yeah, Dylan ain't a La Liga player. He has to do his taxes. But big up everybody for jumping. Big up Rever for heading to London to watch the youngsters play last night. We all did that watch along yesterday, which was awesome. Having a blast doing that. So like the video for me, please subscribe if you are new. We are on the road to 3K. And then if you do want to get involved in the channel a little bit more, have a say in scouting reports, topics of discussion, and even join in virtually at some point, check out the memberships to learn how you can do that. But it's going to be it for me, you guys. Go watch Hayden Hackney, Middlesbrough play in about 20 minutes. You can see why I rate this kid so highly. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next one, and hopefully we'll be here talking about a win the next time we guys chat. So take it easy, enjoy your Saturday, and I will see you guys later.